or thereabout. Nobody deserves to lose a child. So it was really, really heartbreaking. To feel for him to, because he said that he felt the love from his fans, from his listeners, from people that enjoy his music, and that's what gave him strength to come back out. So we say, welcome, Davido, welcome back, and the love of God keep on wrapping you and your wife.
If you remember a couple of weeks ago, we talked about when he deleted some of his Instagram, what's it called, posts like that, and I said that obviously you could not go through that and not have a rethink about life. Then at that point you would think about life is just too short. Yes, no one deserves to lose a child. In fact, no one deserves to lose a loved one, because it could be painful. For some people, they know how to handle tragic situations. For others, it could lead to depression. But I'm happy that Davido has been able to come out and say, all right, I'm back, I'm ready to give you all this. And he said in the interview that the Timeless album was recorded before the death of his child.
Yes.
And he had to, put a pause to that before coming out with this one. So I'll say to him, take heart. Still, whether you like it or not, till he dies, he will always remember his son.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's life. You have to move forward.
And I think that is the sad part of loss. People never get over it. They just learn to deal with it and live with it, really. Okay, and let's see. Let's go on to the next story. Now, this one has to do with the world of comedy. Now, these comedians are airing out a lot of their not so clean laundry in the public space. And well, we, the members and the community of the world out there listening, will speak about it.
Yes, we'll speak about it because today is Bovie and Basket Mouth. A couple of days ago, it was AY and Basket Mouth. So what exactly is wrong with Basket Mouth?
Wait. You have forgotten the common thread, the common journalist in these two interviews. He is good. I've watched a lot of his interviews, and man, he knows how to make you sing like a canary.
But I think a lot of the people who sit in there on that seat, they already know what they're going to say.
Yeah.
So I don't think, because if you don't want to give out information, it will take a lot to get it out of you.
Yeah.
So I think in some way they already know this could come up.
Okay.
So they're prepared for the kind of answer they would give. Now they can be more detailed like AY, or they can be more politically correct like Bovie was.
Ah, that's true.
Because you know that you're still in the same industry, and in the future you don't know when work is going to bring both of you together.
Yep.
In the space of AY, it seems like he might never want to work in the space with Basket Mouth, but Bovie was being a little bit diplomatic with the way he was answering the question and all that. It was being wise, I would say.
Yes, so very wise, a real politician. In fact, Bobby, if you're listening, you should consider going into politics in the future, because you're good. No, I was quite impressed.
Right.
I was quite impressed.
He said a lot but didn't really say much
At all.
Yes.
But you could get from it was like, okay, we got to a point where we went apart like River Niger and River Benue.
Yes.
Yeah, not at the confluence part, but the why, where they go their separate ways.
Separate ways, yeah.
You see, one thing actually I'm holding between the two parties who talked about Basket Mouth seems to be like Basket Mouth looks, or they painted him, because we need to hear from his own side of view before we ascertain whatever it is that happened between the three of them. But from the point of view of Bovie and AY, it seems like Basket Mouth is a selfish person.
Oh wow!
No. I would defend Basket Mouth, because I remember Basket Mouth has been a brand for the longest time. 90s, Basket Mouth was a brand. The same time that Alibaba was a brand, Basket Mouth was Alibaba, Basket Mouth, and all the other then AY came up also. But he's been a brand for the longest time, and I know that, I know personally that Basket Mouth's brand has helped a lot of journalists, radio people, actors, comedians in different ways. So I don't, relationship wise,
from their perspective.
But there's also something though. People always say if you have problem with numerous people, you're the problem. That is not always accurate. It might be that you have your own set of standards and others have their set of standards, and because you don't compromise on your own standards, people are going to see you as the problem.
Yeah, true.
You know, when it comes to whichever industry that you're at, as an individual, you should have discipline. You have rules and regulations that guides the way you interact with other people. And if you don't tend to bend a little, a lot of people might look at you as, is being too strict,
Rigid.
and they will want to give themselves, space between you and them. And they don't want to understand that it has to be a working relationship. Look at Bovie's situation. It was looking more like a personal relationship, because if you look at when they started almost to get flatmates, they've been friends for a very long time.
That's Basketball and
Bovie. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's more on a personal level than a professional level.
Okay.
So I can see the angle where he is coming from. But for AY, because we know very well Basketball started off way before AY came into the game, and it's looking like from a professional angle. So Basketball seems like someone who has set a particular standard for himself and is not willing to bend. So since he's not willing to bend, so both of them have an issue with him not being able to bend his rules.
And Basket Mouth, I saw a clip of Basket Mouth on social media. He might have been at a mini comedy club or something, I don't know, but he was on a small stage, and someone said, what happened between you and AY? And someone screams, now for 30K, and he laughs and he says, if I say something now to be like I responded. But what he goes on to say is, man, that guy, in reference to AY, I don't want that guy to hear from me again. So it's like,
so you can see from a professional angle.
right.
From a professional angle. So we cannot ascertain what really happened until we hear from Basket Mouth. Then we can be able to conclude on, all right, Bovie, all right, we're siding with you. AY, I'm going to side with you. But all in all, based on the side of Bovie and AY, without listening to Basket Mouth's side, I'll just say Basket Mouth should be able to adjust his.
I don't think
his
he's going to
certain
say
things
anything. Basketball will not say anything. He won't come out and say anything.
So I have to say, yesterday I went searching for old clips of Basket Mouth's comedy, and I was blown away. I found myself laughing the same way I laughed all those years ago.
I started watching Basket Mouth in the time of A Night of 1,000 Laughs.
Right.
Back in the days. And trust me, Basket Mouth is not your average comedian. He is always going to give you something different every single time. So
I didn't
Basket
like-
Mouth he's talented.
Yeah, he's quite talented, but there were a few of his jokes that were quite controversial that used to make me feel very uncomfortable. He used to joke about abuse, joke about
Right, and that's
and,
something
I
that,
used to be like,
comedy is supposed to
no,
make people laugh, but sometimes it can be quite offensive, right?
It depends on who is receiving whatever it is that he's saying. To other people who paid to go to their show, they still laugh.
Right.
So it depends on who is receiving. For instance, a lot of comedians have joked about the president, the first lady in the past and all that. A lot of people laughed about it. The question is, other people who received it, were they also laughing? So it depends on the perspective at which you are looking at it from. For some people,
Do you
it will be
think
offensive.
that
Others, it
comedy
might not.
has to change in some way? Because in the past, we've seen comedians make jokes about, just like Jumoke said, abuse, rape, even people with developmental challenges,
Yes.
illnesses. So sometimes people are laughing, but they are cringing on the inside.
Yeah.
That is why I say it depends on the way you receive it. If you're receptive enough, fine, it's good with you. But if you're not, that's where the problem is.
There's some things, whether reception or no reception, you should steer clear of. You should. Comedians should be
You need
cracking
to
jokes
know-
about
you need to
rape
know-
or about developmental challenges.
need-
No.
I'm not
Don't
supporting.
even touch that.
I'm
Whether
not
you are receiving or
supporting-
we're not receiving.
I'm not supporting them using rape as a joke. But my point is, at that point where they're making that joke, a lot of people find it funny. Others do not. It could be an afterthought for some people. Before they, he said this. No, I didn't like what you said. But at first, they already laughed it off.
All right. Oyewale says, what's great in Basket Mouth's jokes? Stop the patronizing, lewd and demeaning jokes. Second base, Jare. And Daisy says, Basket Mouth again. It's all coming out now. Zibby, please share which videos were cracking you up. Okay, so this one, he was taking swipes at Nollywood movies and comparing them to movies from Bollywood, from Hollywood. It was hilarious.
Yeah, that's
and I just couldn't stop laughing. But I okay, you know what? Just tweet at me and then I'll send you those links on Twitter at President Zibby. Okay, so let's move on to the next story, and this one has to do with Charley Boy. Now, Charley Boy is a very well-known Nigerian entertainer.
Yes, he
yeah,
is an
because he covers
entertainer. Yes.
everything. Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
I was trying to get the right word.
Yes.
Yeah, right. You're right.
Now, apparently he shared on his social media that he had just come from hospital and he'd been battling with prostate issues. And I mean, he's 72 years old, and this is something that we see in older men.
Yes.
And well, sometimes I've been doing a lot of research on prostates also, and it's not just younger men. In fact, it's getting younger and younger men, because of things, certain lifestyles or certain things that they choose to do. It puts a strain on the prostate, so eventually prostate would swell up. So I went and I watched that particular video, and I watched a video of an unofficial interview that he had with somebody, with a gentleman in a car 3 months ago, and he was talking about how people need to check themselves. They only ever advise women, oh, check your breast, check this, check for lumps and all that. We don't always remind men too that they need to check themselves. There are lots of diseases that we need to look out for, check for. There are lots of medical things we're supposed to do on a yearly basis. When you hit a certain age, from the age of 35, 40, there's certain tests you're supposed to be doing every year, every 2 years, both male and female. So I liked that he said that, and because from his lips, his words will be taken with more with seriousness than from just anybody, maybe a medical practitioner and all that. I'm so glad nothing happened to him, because I love him. I love his brand. I love his the controversial ways he chooses to present himself. I love his wife, his family.
The picture I saw.
There are plenty of pictures that you will see. I'll make you ask questions.
You don't want to go into those pictures.
Oh,
So I've known Charley Boy way back since the days of, if you remember the Charley Boy show.
Yep, in the 90s.
Yes, in the 90s then. So we already know that Charley Boy is a big brand, and he is not even ready to change that name. Back to the issue of the prostate. In the past, it used to be when you get to the age of 50, then later it became the age of 40. Now it's now between the age of 35 and 40
that is a
and
scary
above,
thought.
and it is very scary. So there are two things. For men, you have to check yourself. If it's possible, you could check yourself probably maybe every month. If it's not possible, every 3 months.
Like a self-examination?
Yeah, self-examination. Just like there's a way women check for lumps. Yes, there's a way men too are supposed to check for it. And also, there is this particular hypothesis that for men, Jumoke is already looking.
No, I'm curious.
All right, so for men, you have to be doing that exercise on a steady, on a regular basis.
On.
That's the truth.
Yeah, that's the excuse that some people
It's
use.
not an excuse. It's not an excuse.
I know that basketball has used that as a joke to be promiscuous.
Hold on. No.
Wow.
Now, so
Basket mouth again.
I have a cousin who is a medical doctor who resides in Canada. So she told me, and she was specific, you must be having this exercise at least 3 times in a week.
Sure.
Yes. I'm talking about, and she's my older cousin.
All right, but you know what? We need to take a break. So what we're going to do, I think this is something that is a conversation that we actually need to get a medical expert to come on Lagos Talk and let's talk about this. So thank you, Charley Boy. And this is amazing when sometimes public figures come out with the challenges they're having, because it drives discussion and enlightenment. So thanks, Afolabi. And
thank you, my president.
yes, this is something.
Thanks, Jumoke.
Yeah, and of course, thank you, Jumoke. So this is something that we're definitely going to have a conversation about with a medical expert on Lagos Talks. But let's take a break. When we come back, we'll continue the conversation. This is The Grapevine on Smooth 98.1.
Well done, Zibby.
You have to
Well
exercise.
done.
You have to exercise.
You must be
Exercise.
Which exercise? Is it the exercise or the exercise?
Both
I
exercises.
said,
That's why I thought it
I
was.
wanted to say the joke that Basketball gave.
Oh.
That he was
serious?
he told his wife and his ex-wife that I'm trying to stay alive. As in,
my
that whenever she catches him, whenever she catches him, he will say, I'm trying to stay alive, baby. I'm trying to stay alive for you and our children. I tell him, like, why can't you stay alive with her?
I think he has divorced it. He has
Yeah,
divorced it.
yeah.
But to be fair,
Now I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
I was just saying hello over here.
Which story are we going to next?
Portable.
Oh, okay.
Portable.
Do you know it? My mom knows Portable. I was sure. My sister sacked one of her workers. My mom was like, that's how he's behaving like that one that used to shout his name soon. I said, Mommy, you're not Portable. She didn't know his name. But she knew that. Hey!
Your mother is the truth. She's the truth,
We need to
man.
get my mom off the internet.
Oh my God. Exactly. We need to see her phone.
It's not even possible.
This is the Grapevine on Smooth 98.1. It's Zibby, Jumoke, and Afolabi this morning.
Yes.
We're here.
Yes.
And we're streaming the show live as well, so you can catch the live stream up on our YouTube channel. It's Smooth981, and you can let us know what your thoughts are. The WhatsApp number is 0809-444-0981. You can also tweet at Smooth981. Let's read a few messages. Olive says, I think making fun about other people's challenges and things like rape is just lazy.
God bless you.
And Xavier from Bagada says, hello guys, please nothing should happen to area father. Men should check themselves regularly, eat healthy and rest. Forget all these motivational speakers, Isonu, that will tell you if you sleep too much, you are sleeping away your destiny. If you do...
You need to sleep. Sleep is important, please.
Exactly.
If you don't rest now, you will rest in peace soonest. Oh wow.
Wow.
Now you sound like a
deep.
motivational speaker.
Yeah.
Xavier.
Xavier, we're suspecting you.
And he says, for the bedroom part, I'm a single Pringle and chastity is a must because heaven is the goal. God will take care of us single Pringles.
Ha. Xavier.
All right, single Pringle Xavier, we're giving you
Heaven
the
is
side
the goal
eye.
now.
Okay, so let's talk about Habib Okikiola. Do you know Habib Okikiola's street name?
Zazu.
Oh dear.
Like, you know what?
He lives in the zoo.
No, Nazazuzu.
He's a baboon. Oh, I'm sorry, but I can't stop laughing. This character cracks me up.
You needed to have seen him when he was arraigned yesterday.
Oh my, I saw it. I felt
Oh,
so
I was
sorry
like,
for him.
can you be this humble in this life? See, I have never for one day seen him that humble.
The Lord will humble
was
you.
Humble.
The law will humble you.
The law, indeed.
But it was everything about him I've always looked at with side eye, just as the same way I look at what's the other one?
Naramali?
Hey, God bless you. Naramali with side eye, like an excuse, because I remember I went to go and buy fuel once, and the attendant was acting like a child, and I scolded the attendant. The attendant started singing Zazu, and I was like, "Are you high?"
Why was he singing Zazu?
I don't know.
It's a Gen Z song.
Oh, so is it like a shade or something?
I feel like he was shading me, as in that was the way he was acting.
Well, it depends on the
He was
the
don't worry.
interpretation.
I
of the
can
person.
confidently tell you, he was shading.
You felt
me.
shaded.
Yes.
Okay. Well, Habib Okikiola, I'm going to be calling him first name, middle name, and last name.
Okay.
Habib Portable Okikiola was sent to prison pending the perfection of his bail. But later last night, it was revealed that he perfected the bail conditions.
Yes.
So he was
Yeah.
out on the street.
Yeah.
And it did seem like he was back to his old gimmicks.
Oh.
When you were humbled and you did what the court asked you to do, it went straight back to where it was coming from. It's just a function of when you vomit and they tell you not to do that. But then you won't blame him because that is what actually drives his fans.
But the court case is not over.
At what point would people realize that social media antics sometimes have no place in reality?
I think a lot of people are coming to that reality. A lot. Except
like
for
the blogger.
those, yes. Okay, now let me take a decoy real quick. I don't know if you've seen one of the laws that's been passed in France that for social media influencers, now you must say
specify
using filter.
Exactly.
So it's a way for them to know this is reality and this is not reality. So a lot of people here in Nigeria need to start knowing that, okay, this is the reality of some people, and also it is not reality.
Exactly. I wish they could pass that law here. I mean, for things like slimming teas and so on and so
Yes.
forth. So let us know that
The
way that the trainer.
Yeah, the trainer.
Which
yes.
people, Afolabi?
Ladies, women,
People.
that you wear on your waist.
Men wear
Men
it,
wear
right?
that as
You
well.
do realize men wear it,
Men
too,
even
right?
wear sideburns.
Thank God you
Weird
said
guy.
men. I'm still a boy, so I don't know.
If I stone you, boy, call, boy, is me. Which one is
Okay, but speaking about Portable and this detention and being arraigned and everything else, what was shocking was his supporters were outside the courtroom demanding for his release.
They can only stand outside and demand.
They can only demand.
They can't influence the judge's decision.
But the case has been adjourned till the 26th of April.
So he's
it's
just
not
out on
over.
bail.
He's
Yes.
just out on bail. So he
Yes.
needs to actually cross his P's, dot his T's and cross his I's and watch himself.
Okay, so two things. First thing, he was invited over to see the police, which he didn't go,
Yes.
and they came to meet him in his office where he was, and
The office looked like, well, it had cages.
There are
like
different,
a
there are
zoo.
different kinds of offices, you know, right?
but it is his office, so we can't take it away from him. Now, you see people walking to your office wearing black, and they didn't identify themselves. Even if they did identify themselves, see, one of the problems we have with the Nigeria police is a lot of them don't know how to identify themselves. You ask for a badge, there's no badge. Where's your ID card? They just flash it at you. You cannot even read the name on that ID card. So you would not blame him for trying to be defensive when I don't even know who are this set of people. But based on what the inspector said, that yes, he assaulted him and was resisting arrest, which were the charges that were put in front of the judge. So for me, I'm trying to defend, I'm not a fan, but I'm trying to defend Porter, because if I were to be in his position, I might have done the same. You're wearing black. Anybody can wear black.
Exactly.
Anybody can flash ID card. How do I ascertain that you were a police officer?
Now-
if you were in your uniform, I totally agree.
Right. But we have to look at Portable and his antics in the past, the way he's behaved and the way he conducts himself. Now, you would ask calmly, can I see ID? What area are you from? What are the charges? Why am I under arrest?
Yes.
A Portable would probably not ask those questions. A Portable would do what he did. I'm a babu, I live in the zoo.
Oh, dear.
And there's no communication happening at that point, right?
If a Zazu or a baboon sees a military man in his uniform, trust me, he will, just like I said the other time, he will go back to factory setting.
You know that the video went viral. I watched it. The video of him assaulting the policeman went viral. And I put myself in his shoes. And yes, I do agree that if you don't identify yourself, but you know how Nigerian police are. In their full, especially when they are effecting an arrest and it's a big person they're going to arrest, they would like to make sure that there's a lot of hula baloo surrounding this arrest to let everybody know that we are doing our job.
Ah.
So they went fully dressed. They were holding guns, most likely. I'm sure they were holding guns, and they just entered like that. They must have probably pushed the security guard at the gate, maybe even slapped him, who knows, and pushed their way in.
All right. Okay, let's go on to the next story. And this one has to do with Thames. Now, Forbes Africa has released its annual 30 under 30 list, and it celebrates young people under the age of 30. So Thames is on that list. She's 27 years old, and I'm slightly jealous because now I'm over 30, so I know that I will not be making any 30 under 30 lists ever.
Wait, Zibby, before you go, these are the same Forbes people that called
Invictus.
Kylie Jenner.
Oh, okay.
Kylie Jenner a billionaire, and then they retraced their steps. So did they make sure that all the 30 people on that 30 were actually on that 30?
Are you
Because I
serious?
don't anything any of these whenever from ever since that happened, Forbes became questionable. So as whenever they did these lists that they like to do every month to put fire under all of our it's making I don't trust them as much as I used to trust them before.
Okay.
Because I'm like, okay,
There have been some questions.
there's questions, and it's not just them.
But Thames she's 27 and she has done a lot. So
no, I'm not talking about Thames or Ira style. No. I'm talking about everybody.
Everyone.
All the 30 people under 30.
Are you saying that maybe there are some football ages on there, or
Who
perhaps
knows?
people who have not exactly achieved the things they claim they have?
We
You
don't
see?
know.
You see, for me, I won't support this from Forbes. My reason is very simple. When you're saying 30 under 30, you're putting pressure on a lot of people who have not made it under 30. Simply because when they start to see things like this online, they go like, is this not my mate achieving this kind of thing? And you need to understand that Gen Zs are different from millennials. Millennials will say, well, that is this time. My time will come. Some of them can still take it. But Gen Z, they have no choose. They have no choose. If they see someone who is making it, they also want to step up and make it. Congratulations to Thames. Congratulations to Ira Star for being on the Forbes list. My own grouse is just that I don't think this is a list that should be published by Forbes, because all around the globe, a lot of people will see this. And the next thing is, I also want to do the same before the age of 30. That is where you're going to have a lot of people saying, by the age of 25, I want to be able to achieve this. 26, I want to achieve this. But you need to understand that all fingers are not equal. All destinies are not equal. You have to go at your own pace.
Now, but the truth is, 30 people under 30. Some people might be doing amazing things in their communities and they will never make that list.
Yes.
So perhaps the focus should be on building confidence in young people where they feel like they are not defined by whatever accolades they get from some organization. Because a lot of people are doing brilliant things and impacting the people around them in their communities. And maybe we'll never really hear about them. But to those people that are directly impacted, it means the world. So about the Gen Zs maybe not being as tough as some of us are, or people who are older than us are, but it's very important that we try to build young people's confidence so they're not defined by these things, which in the long run may or may not really affect them much in their life.
Exactly, just like the person that was voted most likely to succeed.
Yes, in high school.
Most times that's not the case.
That is true.
It's definitely not, because just like I said, you don't know. Destinies are different. You don't even know what tomorrow holds. The person who is making it today, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. The person who's not making it today, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. In fact, I'm just looking at myself. Imagine I was under 30. Sorry. And I see this. I said, imagine, not.
No, I would just wonder whether you're telling us your age directly.
No.
Continue.
I said, imagine I was under 30, and I see this list, and I ask myself, what is happening? And I say, okay, in fact, you know what? Let me go and look at the number that I have on that list. Maybe I'll be like number 2 billion or something.
And we can't deny that, there is a lot that goes on before people can actually get to those lists.
That's why I don't trust Forbes.
All right. Olivia, Olive says, on social media antics not reflecting real life. Is that absolutely accurate? These antics drive traffic to these pages, which translates to increased followership and invariably revenue increase. We're talking about it on radio. Well, Olive, I see your point, but people have won elections on social media, and that has not been the reflection in reality.
Yeah, and besides, we're not saying the same thing now. As in, those are two mutually different things. What she said, she mentioned.
Xavier says, Zibby, don't worry. Me, you, Jumi, and my guy Afolabi will make 40 under 40 list. I mean, by any 30. So there's enough time. Does anyone celebrate people under 40?
Nope.
It's like 30 is the cutoff. If you haven't made it by 30, goodbye.
Yep.
And it's very sad. Look at someone like Steve Harvey. He didn't make it in his 30s.
Exactly.
So why are they putting competition
or Morgan Freeman
in people's heads? You shouldn't do that. it's really sad.
But maybe
That's
it's
why
also to encourage people, though.
it's not
No,
encouraging.
it's not
It's
encouraging.
not discouraging.
It's actually not
It's
encouraging.
just like when your parents compare you to that. See, look at your mates. You know, that doesn't encourage it. To them, they feel that they're using it to encourage you, but it's not encouraging.
Did you I don't know if you saw the news about 21 internet fraudsters that were arrested in Enugu.
It's an
All
everyday thing
of
these
them
days in
are
the country.
under 30.
Oh, that gentleman from I can't remember his name.
So what are
Is
we
that
saying?
Invictus Obi?
Invictus.
Who was
They
actually
are under 30. So
recognized by Forbes
it's-
as
it's-
well.
God, in fact, God bless you.
All right, we're out of time. I'm just going to read one more message. Charlie Boy, through the Charlie Boy Show, in my opinion, was one of, if not the pioneer of skits and pranks, as well as motorbike culture. Man is a living legend that was misunderstood for most of his life. He paved the way for the alti kids on the block these days. Darren Lay, if you can still call him a kid, Denola, etc. And that's Lanray from the abroad.
From the abroad.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for your messages. And special thanks to my co-anchors, Afolabi and
Yes, Your
Jumoke.
Excellency.
And we will make that 40 under 40. You know what? We should
Yes.
start our own 40 under 40s.
Yes, we
Amen.
should.
Yeah. we
Except
should.
some of us
going
are not.
straight-
Except some of us are not under 40.
I'm going to tech.
Into tech.
Yes.
All right. That's all the time for the Grapevine. Do stay with us. Lagos Talk starts from 9 a.m.
Maybe we do for the 40 under